Russian President Vladimir Putin made his first public appearance today since the Wagner mercenary group staged a mutiny and briefly advanced toward Moscow over the weekend. Putin reportedly made an amnesty deal with the Wagner Group's leader, who also agreed to leave Russia for Belarus after calling off his troops. President Biden said today that the West had nothing to do with this insurrection.
CBS News foreign correspondent Ian Lee joins us now from Ukraine, where the Wagner troops had been playing a large role in the Russian invasion. So, Ian, other than, of course, as we've seen online and in memes and all of that, running out of popcorn, what has been the reaction in all seriousness to the open rebellion that we saw over the weekend in Ukraine?
Yeah, Lilia, it reminded me of a quote from the former Israeli Prime Minister Menachem Begin during the Iran-Iraq War, when he said he wishes both sides success. And I think that was the general mood here in Ukraine among many people, is that they would just love to see the Russian military and Wagner cannibalize each other and destroy each other, something then the Ukrainian forces wouldn't have to deal with. But Ukraine's commander-in-chief, Valery Zaluzhny, he said he didn't have time for dealing with what was going on with Russia because he was concerned about Russian missiles that were still able to penetrate Ukrainian air defenses. So while the chaos was going on over there, a lot of Ukrainian military commanders were focusing on the front line. We saw stepped up efforts along certain parts of the front line where Ukrainian forces launched these advances to take advantage of that chaos that was unfolding in Russia.
Ian, you mentioned the line there from history, wishing both sides well. I mean, if you had to push and shove and get an answer, is a destabilized Russia, biggest political crisis in decades, is that a good thing or a bad thing for Ukraine?
Tony, I think it's a bit of a double-edged sword, because definitely you're right. On one side, destabilize Russia would probably mean that Russian forces would pull back out of Ukraine, potentially even out of the Crimea, and then Ukrainian forces would be able to sweep in, the war would be over, and less bloodshed would be spilled. But, we also got to remember on the other side that Russia has thousands of nuclear weapons. Who knows who would have taken control of those if something would have happened to Putin or something would have happened to the government there. So there was a lot of concern on that front, too. A lot of Eastern European countries would love to see Russia break up into different regions and different countries, frankly. It would take the stress off their borders. But as we've heard from the United States, they're really concerned about those nuclear weapons. And at least for the Ukrainians, they're just moving forward with this war.
But Ian, it's got to be good news, right, that these Wagner troops, which had been in Ukraine fighting on the front lines, are now in Russia or Belarus. That's an improvement, right, if you're Ukraine?
There's fear.
Yeah, definitely, Tony. I've spoken with soldiers all up and down the front line, and if you ask them who is the fiercest fighters they've come up against, it is definitely Wagner. They say they're more committed. They say that they stand their ground, and they will even charge, even if it is a death sentence. They said the regular Russian troops just don't have that kind of commitment. So with the Wagner forces, out of Ukraine, that may make it easier for Ukrainian troops moving forward. We need to remember that Wagner was able to seize Bakhmut from the Ukrainians, something that the Russian regular forces wasn't able to do, even though they suffered heavy casualties. So, yeah, this is something that the Ukrainian military is going to consider when moving forward. But, we apparently can't count out Prigozhin yet. There are talks, or at least in his audio message, he hinted the fact that he may go to Belarus and set up shop there. So who knows what's going to happen in the future when it comes to Wagner.
Yeah. Ian Lee, thank you very much from inside Ukraine. We appreciate your reporting.